Have you ever watched a new horror movie and thought, wait a minute, I've definitely seen Sam and Dean Winchester hunt this exact thing? Focus Features 2026 horror hit Obsession has been terrifying audiences with its dark take on magical wishes. But if you're a supernatural fan, you probably realize that this movie is basically just a gritty, R-rated Monster of the Week episode straight out of the show's golden era. In fact, Obsession directly mirrors the unforgettable season 4 episode, Wishful Thinking. Welcome back to the Logline, the channel where we connect the dots between your favorite movies and TV shows. Today we are crossing over Obsession with Supernatural to show you exactly how the Winchester brothers would solve this case in under 45 minutes. Hit that subscribe button, grab some pie, and let's get into it. Let's talk about the lore. In Obsession, our hopelessly awkward protagonist, Bear, buys a one-wish willow from a local metaphysical shop. He breaks the stick and wishes that his crush, Nikki, would love him more than anyone in the world. This magical artifact would fit perfectly into a Men of Letters bestiary. But the rules of this magic system contrast heavily with what the Winchesters are used to. In Supernatural, cursed objects are usually inherently evil. Think of the Tiamat coin from Wishful Thinking. It's a seed of chaos minted by ancient Sumerian priests specifically to destroy communities by twisting people's wishes. Items like that usually require heavy-duty containment, like Bobby Singer's Enochian sigil curse boxes, just to stop them from leaking dark magic. But the One Wish Willow, it's completely morally neutral. It doesn't actively try to screw you over like a classic monkey's paw. It just grants your wish in the most literal, logically possible way. The true horror in Obsession doesn't come from a demon. Director Curry Barker confirmed it isn't a possession movie at all. The horror stems entirely from toxic human intent. Bear's selfish entitlement to force a woman to love him is what corrupts the magic. So, how does the hunt begin? The Winchester way, of course. Sam is doing the heavy lifting, scouring police databases for anything weird. He flags a bizarre wellness check, called in by a local music store employee named Sarah. She reported her friend Nikki missing, noting that Nikki had suddenly dropped off the grid, quit her job, and started telling bizarre, easily disproven lies, like her father suddenly having cancer, just to stay locked in an apartment with their socially awkward coworker, Bear. To Sam and Dean, sudden drastic personality shifts and extreme isolation scream supernatural coercion. Meanwhile, Dean decides to test the magic himself to see what they are dealing with. Just like in Concrete, Washington, where he famously wished for a foot-long Italian sub with jalapenos and ended up violently ill, Dean breaks a confiscated willow stick and smugly wishes for the greatest, most perfect slice of cherry pie in the universe, since Sammy never remembers to buy it. A steaming, picture-perfect slice of pie magically appears on the motel table. Dean takes a massive bite, looks absolutely ecstatic, and then immediately bursts into uncontrollable weeping tears. The pie is so perfect and made with so much love that it bypasses all his emotional walls and forces him to loudly confront his deeply repressed childhood trauma. Sam has to watch in horror as Dean aggressively shove-eats the pie while loudly sobbing about how much he misses their dad. Once they confirm the magic is real, they suit up. Flashing their fake FBI badges, they introduce themselves as Agents Page and Plant and head straight to the music store where the friend group works. Since Sarah filed the police report, it gives the boys the perfect cover to pull her and Ian into the back room for questioning. To the boys, Bear isn't some tragic romantic hero. He's just another idiot civilian who messed with the occult and got in over his head. Much like the desperate housewives from the Malleus Maleficarum coven, through the interview, Sam and Dean get the full disturbing picture. Sarah explains that for years, Nikki strictly viewed Bear as just a friend, basically a brother. But overnight, her behavior completely flipped. Suddenly, they're dating, and Nikki has become isolated and erratic. Dean quickly clocks Ian as a deeply toxic, misogynistic jerk who secretly used to hook up with Nikki. When Ian casually mentions giving Bear manipulative advice, like telling him to nag her by calling her by her childhood bullying nickname, Freaky Nikki, Dean has to physically restrain himself from punching him. That's all the boys need to hear. They instantly realize this isn't just a toxic relationship, it's supernatural coercion. The One Wish Willow is literally rewriting Nikki's reality and forcing her to isolate herself to fulfill Bear's twisted fantasy. But since they don't have enough hard proof to kick the door down just yet, Sam hands Ian and Sarah his card. He gives them the classic Winchester instruction. If anything weird happens, or if her behavior gets violent, you call us immediately. Because of this intervention, the events of the movie play out exactly the same up until the fateful dinner party at Ian's house. Sarah is inside with Bear and Nikki, and things are going horribly wrong as they do in the movie. Later that night, Ian gets a frantic text from Sarah's phone begging him to come back. In the original movie, Ian walks straight into a death trap, but in this timeline, Ian remembers the terrifying FBI agents. He pulls out Sam's card and makes the call. Sam answers the phone. He realizes immediately that Sarah wouldn't be texting Ian unless she was incapacitated, or worse. The boys tell Ian to stay exactly where he is. They floor it in the Impala, determined to intercept the magic before it claims another victim. They arrive at Ian's house, crashing the movie's climax and bypassing Ian's death entirely. The climax of this crossover wouldn't be a standard monster brawl in a dark warehouse. It's a high tension, psychological hostage situation. The boys kick down the front door right before Ian can arrive. But what they find inside is pure nightmare fuel. They are met with the horrifying sight of Sarah's mutilated corpse on the floor. Standing over her is Nikki, but she's wearing Sarah's dress and, in a deeply disturbing twist, she is literally wearing Sarah's scalp over her own hair. Nikki has a gun pointed directly at Bear, threatening to kill him and herself instinctively. Dean raises his weapon, but Sam yells at him to stand down. There's a massive complication. They can't just shoot Nikki with rock salt or witch-killing bullets. This isn't a demon possession where they can just recite an exorcism in Latin. The thing wearing Nikki's body is the wish itself. It's Bear's toxic desire given physical form, designed to violently eliminate anyone who gets in the way of her love for him. Sam's empathy kicks in. He remembers the customer service call. He knows that the real Nikki is trapped in the sunken place of her own mind, a prisoner in her own body, forced to watch her hands commit murder. Sam slowly lowers his gun and tries to talk her down, desperately trying to reach the terrified human trapped beneath the spell. Meanwhile, Dean gets to deliver a badass, trademark Winchester monologue. He corners Bear and utterly destroys his pathetic nice guy victim complex. Dean looks him dead in the eye and tells him that forcing someone to love you isn't romance. It's a selfish, monstrous violation of human autonomy. You didn't wish for love, buddy. You wished for a hostage. Because the one wish willow doesn't have a cancellation policy, and you can't just melt it down like the Babylonian coin from wishful thinking. The boys have to find a clever loophole. Bear suggests he has to kill himself to break the spell by swallowing his cat's lethal pills. But Sam and Dean don't let civilians die on their watch, not even the cowardly ones. Sam pulls out a final, unbroken one-wish willow that they confiscated from the crystal shop. Sam snaps the twig and weaponizes the magic against itself, loudly stating his wish. I wish the magical source of these willows is permanently severed, and every wish granted in this town is immediately undone. The entropic field collapses. The curse is instantly lifted. Nikki drops the gun, gasping for air as her own mind is suddenly restored to her body. Sam and Dean leave Bear to face the mundane reality of the police for his involvement in Sarah's death, load up the Impala, and hit the road to the sound of classic rock. What do you guys think? Would Sam and Dean have figured out the One Wish Willow faster than they solved the wishing well in season 4? Or would Dean have just punched Bear in the face right at the start? Let me know your theories in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this crossover script, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the logline for more horror and TV breakdowns. See you in the next one.